And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got a little frog right there. It is Friday, December 12th. We are right in the middle of the month here at the Makers and Movers podcast. How are you guys doing today? Now remember, it's your first time here, long time here. I need to know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area, followed by your five things. What are five things that you are going to accomplish today? Now, we've got a sparkling star fruit pineapple Celsius. No, so that's what we're rocking here this morning. We had some snow and cold move through tonight, last night, and it's the bottom's going to drop out this weekend. I think we're talking highs of like single digits, lows of negative double digits. Yeah, welcome to the Midwest winter. So that's always fun, right there for the holidays, trying to get stuff done. As far as our five things, we got we got too much to do. But typically for today, I've got emails that I've got to get back to. I have stores that I need to get out. We've got orders that need packed and shipped, and then we've got a supplier meeting, and we're trying to find a package meeting. So we got a lot rolling on there through it. So let's check in. Oh, today, what are we talking about today? Today we're talking. What are we talking? Chaos, right? No, no, yeah, no, yeah. I think we're talking chaos today. Just everything that's going on middle of the month and how we can help navigate that because it is. Let's be honest, it's a customer chaos, right? We're trying to do everything right now in the middle of the month. We're rapidly approaching our cutoffs if they haven't already passed. We've got customers that are on you every 4 minutes looking for something, and you're still trying to get the family stuff there. Like for us, we haven't even decorated the tree yet. The tree's up. It hasn't been decorated. Well, I guess sort of has. The elves did some decoration last night, but so we don't even seem like it's the holiday spirit. You're juggling everything, family, you're done order deadlines, last minute, can you rush this? So, we're gonna talk about how to manage all of that today. And with that, let's check in and see how people are doing. Lexi, good morning to you. Gabriella, good morning to you. Renee, morning 17 there on the way to 25. Chicago, water in the bottle, tea in the mug, five things. Mom, doctor appointment, lunch with Ella, engraved glass, cut and weed vinyl, more CAD learning. Love it, love it, love it. Gabriel's got 10, cold and sunny, working on 5D diamond painting. Ooh, very nice. And 5D diamond painting uses rhinestones to make nice paintings. Kelly, Crystal Ninja Kelly, has done a lot of that. And oh, so, so beautiful. Second choice charm. That's right. You're this way instead of this way. This way, I'm right here. This way, you get to see all of it, right? Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 14 snowing. Hot tea in the cup. Five things. Banking, cut HGV, embroider more blankets, sewing alterations, and digitizing. Barb's got a busy day there. Linda, running from Foggy, Texas, currently 59 on the way to 73. Man, that sounds amazing. Shorts and t-shirt kind of day. Iced tea in the cup. Five things. Edit photos. Engrave. 3D print. Organize office. Prep for event tomorrow. And Linda, thank you for sending me that link because maybe or maybe not, I bought some filament. We'll see. Hi, Renee and Linda from Barb, and hi morning, Barb and Linda from Renee. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you from Chile, Central Florida, where it's 51 this morning. Chuck's funny. George, good morning to you. Hi, Chuck from Barb. Chuck from Renee. Happy Friday. Wind chill during this game Sunday. It's supposed to be negative 25. Not looking forward to that, right? That dome is looking nicer and nicer, just so you won't have to deal with that. And I don't care. Oh, that's not who the Bears are. That's who I am. If I'm spending, you know, $300 on a garbage seat anyway, I at least want to be comfortable. I don't want to be miserable. I've done that. I've done the winter games where it's just trash out. It's why the games earlier in the season, the tickets cost more because it's nice and it's enjoyable. So, yeah, I'm not down with that. Barb said, we reached our high for today. Sub-zero temps by this afternoon. Cold weather advisory in effect from 6 p.m. Friday to 10 a.m. Sunday. Cold wind chills as low as 37 below zero expected. We're right there. That stuff's headed our way, Barb, and it's not going to be fun. Jerry, good morning, all. And Jerry's watching this way, so she'll be able to say, I can't see, because she's watching this way, because I see the little icon that says it. Rustline, good morning. My tree isn't even up, but it will be this weekend. We got the tree up. We got the decorations up. We got to put it in there, and there are presents under the tree. And what are those presents under the tree? Well, we had a Romeo delivered, so that's sitting by the tree. And we had our bamboo delivered, and that's sitting by the tree. So technically, I guess there are presents there. We are still trying to locate 5 cases of flock, so that'll be fun. Morning, friends, from Jerry, and hi, Jerry, from Barb, and Keith, hey, hey, from the sunny Space Coast in Florida. Good morning, Jerry, from Renee. Highland, Renee, Chuck, Barb, and Todd from Jerry. Hugs to all. Boyd Apparel, good morning. Cutting rinds from templates down in my last yard. Order some more. We have, I want to say there's about 16 bonus bundles of flock left, and then everything will go to by the foot, because we bought everything that our supplier had, and they had no more of the rolls that were cut down already and done up all nice, so everything's just by the foot from here on out till they restock, and we're trying to figure out when that's going to be, but we have plenty of flock in stock. um, I switched to landscape. There you go, Jerry. I'm watching like Jerry. Yeah, see, like that. Good morning from Miami. Good morning, Megan. How are you doing today? Megan, I was going through orders. I need you to order something physical so I can send you your transfers. I was thinking that when we were pulling orders on Wednesday, and then I thought about it yesterday. I'm like, I thought Megan ordered something. It was digital. You need to order physical, so then I can send her those transfers. The grandkids and I are putting up the tree and decorating on Sunday. Very nice. Does the Romeo have a 24 by 24 cutting mat? I don't know, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know. I know we have a 12 by 12 and a 12 by 24, but I'm not sure. We'll open it up and we'll do an unboxing and we'll see everything that's in it, because, well, that's one way to we'll find out for it. If you can say which bamboo you go with, it was the, what did we go with? We went with the, let me double check here. Which one did we go with? I'm trying to see if I can see where it was here, because then once I see the thingamajigger, the P2S, is right. Is that the P2S? I think that sounds right. It's the new, yeah, P2S, right? P2S is what we ended up going with on that. So that's the one that we went with, P2S with the AMS. Hudson's excited because he's going to make some stuff this weekend, and he's totally looking at functional prints. He's come across some of those top 5 prints to make, or what are they? The top 5 functional prints, and I think he wants to do the veggie washer. He saw that, and then I think there's a bottle opener or something else. I'm like, yep, we'll do whatever you went with. Yes, went with the PS2. That's what I went with. The P2S. That's what I went. I got one of your transfers too. Cannot decide what to order. We'll order it up, Jerry. I bought the H2S. Ooh, Linda. I wanted to, I like I said, it's probably in the future. You know how it goes. You definitely know how it goes. Linda's at the multiple head one. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because there's the other one that's a tool changer, and then the one with the multiple head, and it's larger. That was the thing that I liked. Is like if you're going production wise, go for that, for the cost of that, you can go 2 with P2Ss, and you're going to be right there in that same price point, so it makes sense. But if you're going where you want larger scale things, I would go with that one. So we're learning as we go to. Oh, the H2, the D is a dual head. That's right. That's right. All right. So what do you say we go ahead and we just get right into this? Because now I could be wrong, and you will tell me if I'm wrong, because I get emails every day that tell me I'm wrong. So that's awesome. People pissed off at me for one reason or another. But December, especially mid-December, really does hit differently. Why? Is it you got orders piling up, cookies are burning in the oven because you're on your phone, because it's buzzing, with a text every 10 minutes. Hey, I know it's last minute. Hey, checking on my order. Hey, how are you? Any message that starts with hey, that there's going to be something behind that. This is the stretch where a lot of makers really start to question why Christmas comes at the same time every year. But yet customers act like it's a surprise attack. Like it's kind of like birthdays. Your birthday doesn't change. People know it's birthdays, and to be like, hey, I need this last minute. Did they change birthdays? Like Christmas is the same time every year, but we're full of it. It's chaotic. Yeah, it's stressful. It can also be hilarious. And if you just take a deep breath, maybe squint a little, it still is a little magical. All right. Because this is the moment where, your business life and your personal life, they collide in the most ridiculous of ways. Okay. You're printing shirts while you're, pulling sugar cookies out of the oven. You're answering DMs while you're hiding gifts from your kids. And you're trying to keep your cutoff date from, becoming a negotiation tool. But even in all of this madness, there's joy, there's purpose, and there still are plenty of moments that are worth laughing at later. You know, you're doing the work that brings holiday memories to life. You know, while you're also trying not to forget, what day it is. Like, I think I don't think I go a day without asking Corey what day it is. So today, we're going to talk about how we can navigate that this delicious disaster zone of cookies, fudge, cutoffs, chocolate cheese. That's right, baby. I haven't even made chocolate cheese yet. And customer chaos with humor and boundaries and that kind of resilience that really only us makers understand. So, are we ready to get into this? Number one, hold the line, folks. Hold the line on your cutoff. You know, even when everything gets tested, hold that line. You know, the cutoff dates, they feel nice and firm when you set them. And then what happens? December rolls in with chaos and my favorite, the customer guilt trips, right? And this is where makers can really get into some trouble because the temptation to say just one more order, it just grows every single day. But, bending your cutoff date, that doesn't just stress you out. It creates, a customer expectation that, cutoffs aren't symbolic and they're not really real. Holding your boundaries, that protects your energy, protects your workflow. And this time of year, it protects your sanity. If you stay firm, customers eventually will learn that your deadlines mean something. And honestly, that really is the best for everyone. It keeps your orders predictable. It keeps you on schedule. And it keeps your December nights from turning into, midnight production marathons that you really didn't sign up for. So, some examples of this is, one maker stuck to her December 10th cutoff and found that customers really started ordering earlier the next year. Another maker created, a giant cutoff has passed sign for workplace. So she didn't get tempted, and her December stress dropped by half. So for this action step, let's write and schedule a reminder post today that clearly states your final cutoff if it hasn't passed yet and what late customers should expect. All right. Which brings us to tip number 2, expect those last minute requests and have a script ready. You know, December customers, they're predictable in their unpredictability, right? They swear they ordered on time. They blame the school calendar or, claim that they just saw your product 5 minutes ago. You know, Instead of being surprised by last minute rush requests, let's just plan for them. The chaos really feels less personal when you expect it and you know exactly how you're going to respond to it. Having that pre-written response was really going to keep your emotions out of it. When stressed customers hit you with those urgent messages, you won't scramble. You'll just copy, paste, and breathe, right? The more consistent your responses, the smoother your December is going to become. So, some examples of this is someone created a canned reply that said, "My cutoff has passed, but here's what I can do." And she felt like her stress dropped instantly. Another added an autoresponder between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. So she didn't emotionally spiral every time a late night message came into her inbox. So here's what we need to do is we just need to write one cutoff has passed script. And here's what's still possible script. And we can use that the rest of December. Hey, cutoff is in, here's this. And that's where your rush fees. What are you charging for rush fees? What are you doing with that for? So number 3, this one's a fun one, right? Let's create a baking plus making rhythm, that really keeps you sane. Because I don't know about you, but the holiday seasons, it's not just about business. It's also about family traditions, chocolate cheese, you know, cookies cooling on the counter, kids wanting to help with gift wrapping, the festive events that are going on around you, that Christmas chaos that just happens. You know, when you try to force your maker life to dominate December, you're going to lose that balance fast. But when you intentionally blend your family rhythm with your production rhythm, everything really does start to feel smoother. And you don't have to choose between being a great parent and a great maker. You just need pockets of structure, mixing in those normal life moments, baking the cookies, Christmas. We haven't even watched Christmas Vacation yet, enjoying hot cocoa, you know, taking a few minutes to breathe. That really helps, keep your brain from frying like, an overworked heating element. Now, for us personally, we knew that this week we were slammed with everything. We've got 2 jobs at the beginning of next week, and then that's it. There's nothing for the rest of the year that are on the books. So that way we have the time for family. We have the time for chocolate cheese. We have the time for Christmas Vacation. We have the time for all of that. You know, we don't want to be overworked, but we knew here's what we're doing and here's how we're doing it. So some other examples of this is, a maker set a timer. So, she did 1 batch of shirts and then 1 batch of cookies with the kids, and it kept everyone happy. You know, another one, we talked earlier about having, kind of have that mental reset, right? Well, she turned the cookie making process into a mandatory mental reset. Hey, I can't do this till I make some cookies. A nice soft chocolate chip cookie, or if you have friends like Renee, and just sweets just show up from time to time, especially when you go to trade shows. Those are nice. Just saying. When you do this and you mentally reset and you take the time that you need to for yourself and your family, what happens? Your production accuracy goes way up. So for this action step, let's just build a simple family plus production schedule. Let's do it for the next week. What are we doing? Nothing fancy, just intentional stuff. I'm going to make cookies this day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay. Uh, Distracted. Text. There's a lot going on in personal life right now, and now I just need to turn the phone over. And I'll deal with it when we're done off with it. Um, where was I? So nothing fancy, just intentional with it. So before we move on to 4 and 5, let's check in. Let's see where else were we with it amongst all of this. Let's see. Linda, does it have the AMS? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got it. Like I said, my birthday is in 3 days amidst all the chaos. Delaney, who will be 19 this year, her birthday is the 22nd of December. Because today's the 21st, yeah, 22nd of December. So yeah, right there with him, which it was kind of cool for us because it's like, oh, I can get her something for her birthday. And then, like, as she was little, it was like, oh, we can get, let's say Barbies for her birthday. And then you can get all the accessories on Christmas. And so it worked out there. But it's fun trying to find birthday stuff, like wrapping paper and things like that, because you want it to be different. And so even now that she's older and she'll come visit at our family Christmas, we'll still have birthday with cake and all. And here's the birthday present and then the Christmas presents. Uh, let's see. Mine is December 16th, 100% Sagittarius. Happy early birthday. Look at that, Rusleen. Listening to a terrific book, Joyce Man by Dr. Carrie Burnett. Highly recommend it. Very nice. What is the biggest benefit of the P2S versus the P1S other than larger screen? It has the same build volume. It was faster. It was in stock. That was that was probably one of the big things too. Um, and Barb says, my cutoff is the 19th for all shipped and picked up items. Closed until January 5th. I'm booking out January, February. Very, very nice. Renee says, I have new Dubai chocolate cookies. Ooh, they're getting rave reviews. They're so yummy. I checked. I checked. And I don't see a package from Renee. So amazing how that works. Q, do you post our deadline post on business page or everywhere? I post it everywhere when we're doing that. But like on our side, this is the first year that we did not post anything for Christmas. That we're not, because as we're slowly sunsetting our retail business, the only thing that we're doing is team stores. So the only thing we're putting together are people that need that. So we had 4 or 5 different ones on there, and then our bulk order. So we've got a few businesses schools that we do stuff for. On that, we didn't do anything Christmas. Why? Focusing on the rhinestone world to get that out there. Megan said, "Thank you, thank you, Wrestling." Same. I do love my December birthday. And Barb says, we do a family cookie making day at my daughter's. The grandkids are so fun. Yes, I love that part of it. Yeah, it's tough. My daughter's birthday is the 29th of December. So you get it where she gets all the fun stuff for Christmas, and then you can go ahead and do the accessories for her birthday. I got it. I always had to pick a present from under the tree. Sucked as a kid. Aww. And that's what I didn't want for my daughter. I remember we brought her home on Christmas Eve. Like we left the hospital and went to our family's house, and it was back then it was wild because Christmas Eve was my parents or was my mom's house. So that was Christmas Eve night. And so here it is, with her, with the baby fresh from the hospital straight to there. And then we had to be at my wife at the time family's at her grandparents' house at 7, no, at 8 for Christmas morning, and then at her parents at 10, and then my dad's at 2, and then back to her parents for dinner at 6. So we didn't really have a Christmas, and it was just nonstop. And I remember we slept pretty much all of Christmas everywhere we went. Just here's a sleeping baby, let us sleep. Not sure how the ship may have to do a test batch. Yeah, we got to see how things ship, Renee. Just saying. Maybe some chocolate cheese. I'll send your way. My granny's was the 20th. My mom's is the 23rd. My son's is the January 10th. Whoa! Oh, all right there, Ned. Let's say hello to you. All right. So let's get back into this. All right. Now, number 4 is let's streamline your workflow before the chaos peaks. By mid-December, every second of every day really does count. Now, if you don't streamline your workspace, don't streamline your tools, or don't streamline your order sequence, you are going to lose hours to those tiny little inefficiencies. This is the time to make sure that you are setting up for batch production, that you are cleaning up your supplies and simplifying your steps so your brain can run on autopilot, even if, the coffee can't keep up with you. Having a clear workflow, it really helps you focus when everything around you is buzzing. It helps reduce mistakes, it helps speeds up production, and it really does keep you from feeling like you're drowning in both orders and cookie dough, right? So, a couple examples of this is one maker created December bins, and this was for each order type, and it saved 45 minutes a day. So, yep, this one is like all embroidered. This one's laser. This one's sublimation. Everything went in there, so they just batch and do it from there. Another one, they rearranged their entire workspace so that they could move in a straight line, from pressing to packing without backtracking. So just went down the line. Here's where I'm doing this. Here's where I'm doing this. Here's where I'm doing this. Here's where it is. Just the assembly line with it. So, action step for this is today, look at your process. See if you can identify one bottleneck in your workflow and what you need to do to fix it. And I guarantee doing that, it's going to pay off instantly, even if it is moving something 3 steps closer. That's 3 less steps you're taking right there. Have everything right there when you need to have it. Now, number 5 is my personal favorite. Why? Well, it's using humor to, diffuse the stress and really to keep everyone moving. Because, December really can make you feel unhinged if you don't laugh. When things get ridiculous, and they will. Humor really is that difference between a breakdown and a breakthrough. Joking about late DMs, posting, funny maker memes, or just sending a lighthearted update to your customers really does make everything feel more manageable. And honestly, your customers respond way better to humor than they do panic. Now, humor, it's not unprofessional. It's very relatable. It helps you stay grounded. It helps customers feel connected to you. And it makes the overall tone of your business feel warm instead of frantic. So, examples of this, someone posted my coffee is now 90% reheated sadness meme. And, customers loved it and supported her through it. Another one, kept a December chaos bingo, talked about this in her workspace and celebrated each time she got 5 in a row. There we go. Right. So for this action step is let's just share one lighthearted December themed post today. All right. Let's humanize your business because humanizing your business, really does build trust and loyalty. So To recap all this, you know, number one, we're going to hold your cutoff firm because if you do, you will thank yourself later. You should expect last minute requests and be prepared with those scripts. You're going to blend family and maker life instead of battling between them. You're going to streamline your workflow to save time and reduce errors. And you're going to use humor to diffuse the chaos and connect with your audience. Because December's messy, it's emotional, it's hilarious, it's exhausting, and magical, all wrapped up in once. But, you're built for this. And I'm here to tell you, you are doing way, way, way better than what you think. I'm super proud of you for everything you're accomplishing right now. I cannot wait to see what you do in 2026. Now, that's what we have for you as we wrap this up today. Let's see what next topic is. What do we got here? Because we'll do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And on Monday, what are we talking about? Last Minute Rush. That's what we're going to talk about, because it is where it's the week before Christmas. We're going to talk about, there comes that moment when, those things just start popping up, the emotional, desperate, last minute requests. And, so we're going to talk about how to deal with those this coming Monday. Now, next week, I don't think we have anything that's going to affect this show. We probably will on our mentorship community because we have holiday programs at the school, holiday helping out at the school, and there was something else. And those are, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, but I think it's like 9:30. So I'll find out and let everybody know in there. But it's last week before school gets out, and then it'll be fun time, play time with it. So, good morning to you, Love Sparkle. And Jerry, you're very welcome, as always, Jerry. All right, we'll wrap this up so we can get out of here. Mentorship call starting in 31 minutes. If you haven't had a chance yet, guess what? Order rhinestoneworld.com. That's, I should say that, Keith, there is none. We are still going back and forth with the developer because it's a shift it's our e-commerce. The recurring happens through them, and they only have one option, and you can only do one or the other. So they're looking to see what they can do to change that. And they said they'll get back to us. It'll be so nice when we switch over to Shopify next year. So as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know. But as it is right now, it's in progress. That's what we got. Peg, good morning to you. Tardy to the party, but listening to all the great info. Put my grandbaby down for a nap. Ooh, a nap sounds good. All right, Megan. I'll grab your stuff, and I'll make sure that it goes out today. We'll get that out for you because I'm super excited to see you press that. So with that, you guys have an amazing day, and we will be back here Monday. Enjoy. We can stay warm. Like for us, Barb, Renee, it's cold. We're gonna have like negative 30 wind chills. I think we have more snow coming, another like 6 to 8 inches. We are on the way home from getting running errands today. We're getting everything stocked because once we get home tonight, we are not leaving until Monday morning to take the kids to school. That is a fact. So, you guys have a great weekend. And until next time, peace, love, press on. And we will see you then. I had to hit the button. See you guys.